so now that we unboxed it, I'm going to do a video on how to put it together. Reminder, this is the SONDORS Thin 7, and it's the one that comes with the suspension fork. They sent me a link of how to build it. I feel it's a little outdated because there's some steps that you don't have to do anymore. They're like the brakes, they put them together already. All you have to do is put the handlebar on, but you'll see that. So I'm going to watch the video as I put it together. Might pause here and there, but let's see where we get. I'm going to try to use the tools that they sent.
Grab the steering stem, rotate it to the front.
See, it says to rotate the steering stem, and it's already there. Alright, so the first step is going to be to, like I said, the video already tells you to rotate the stem right here, but it's already rotated. So all you have to do, the first step to put the handlebars on, you have to take this part off. You're going to use one of their supplied L wrenches. Took it off, all it took was the L wrench, and then I'm going to put it aside so I can bring the fork up. Or I'm sorry, the handlebars. And you want to make sure you're not putting these on backwards because I did that on my first bike build. But it was easy to take off and put back on. So just make sure they're not on backwards. And then, alright, so now that we make sure they're not on backwards, we're just going to put this back. And then it doesn't matter too much right now if they're the correct, setting for you. You can adjust that later once it's on. Just tightening this up a little bit because you're going to make final adjustments later. We're just going to get it on there a little tight. Alright, now we have that on. I'm going to watch the next step on their video. Alright, so their next step is to put the wheel on. So on their video, this has little brackets that fit into the holes of the bike, but it doesn't come with them. This bike doesn't come with those, so it's even easier to put it together. So all you do is you remove that little foot it comes with. Tighten these with my hand first. Okay, so when I put the wheel back, when I put the wheel on, I realized that this was not aligned. So all I did was undid the bolts right here on the stem. Just undid them enough to move it, and then align it, and then just tighten them back up. Alright, so their next step here on this video is to put the brake cables inside of these handles. But on this bike, the SONDORS 7 with the suspension, they already came done. So you don't even have to do that. All you're going to have to do is just kind of adjust them to your hands once you get ready. And it also talks about, on the video, it talks about adjusting the brake to the disc brake on the wheel. But again, that's pretty much done. And on mine, it came already adjusted correctly, so I didn't have to do any additional work to it. And now on the next part of the video, it's going to talk about how to put your pedals together, and there will be an L and a R to tell you where they go. Alright, so on the left pedal, to put it on, it does, like I said, it does have a R and L to tell you where it goes. On the left pedal, you turn counterclockwise, and on the right pedal, you're going to turn clockwise to put it. Since I'm on this side of the bike, I'm turning left, but if you were on the other side putting it together, you're going to be turning right, like I said. The next thing is going to be the seat post. Oh, and actually you don't need this. It's really easy because it has this quick release. So just put it on. Depending on, you can adjust it later. I think this one's going to have to be pretty short for the user because they have a short torso. So you kind of want to tighten this a little bit and then push it back. I really like quick release for that. Okay, the next step on the video is how to adjust your brakes when you're sitting on the bike, making sure they feel comfortable. This one's going to be pretty good as it is, so I'm not really going to do it, but all you're going to do is use the Allen wrench they provided. Alright, so it's just located down here at the bottom, so just kind of locate it, undo it a little bit, then you adjust them up and down. Same thing with the throttle, that's right here. It has a little Allen wrench down there, screw I mean, and you just adjust it as needed. But like I said, this is almost perfect already, so I don't need to do any adjustments. I'm going to go on to the next step. Stop it. Go. Alright, so the next step on this one is going to be to install the LCD screen, and then it does have the two little bolts that comes with it. They're in the box in case you can't find them. I had a little bit of a hard time last time because on the video it shows that they're installed, so I kept looking for them. But it's good that they're not on because it just takes less time to put it back on or put it on. Clamp it in there. Then you have the little screws they supplied. I'm going to cheat and not use the Allen wrench because it takes forever. So I'm just going to use this. So you just put the screws in there and tighten them. Alright, and then the next step is to put the control on there. And this one does have the screw on it. Oops, I'm bleeding. It's okay. So just undo the screw. Put the control on the handlebar, and you kind of need to adjust it once you get on your bike, just to make sure that your fingers can reach it correctly. So I'm just going to tighten this up. Alright, so I finished installing the control on here. So the next step is to put the LCD wire in the harness, like I said, where it connects to the battery. I'm going to shoot it with my phone too on this side a little bit, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so like I said, we opened up the harness, and I was going to make a note. Another thing I noticed is on their video they cheated a little bit because they used Phillips screwdrivers to put everything on. It's such a hassle to do with the Allen wrenches, but I get it. Anyways, just a little side note. That's why their video went so fast. So down here you're going to locate the wire where the LCD screen plugs in, and this is it right here, and you're just going to undo it. There's a little, I don't know if you can see it from there, but it has a little cap on it. You just pull it off. It is a little hard, but it just, let's see, I'm going to shoot that. It just comes off. Alright, so there's a hole down here. I'm going to kind of show you where the wire goes through and then comes out on the other end. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to have to wiggle all the other wires around. It goes right in there, you bring it all in. I'm going to let it lag a little bit because I'll show you why in a little bit. And then you just kind of plug them both together. So I'll show you where it came through. And then you just connect that. So you connect these two together. And it has a little groove on there to match it up. And then I'll kind of show you where it fits on here. So once it's put together, you kind of just make room for it and stick it in there. And then you have a little bit of lag out here, but I'll show you what you can do with that in a little bit. So you fit that in through here as well. And you can pull it back out. And they kind of supply these little, I don't know, they're like squiggly telephone wires. And you can use that to to tie in the other wire so that it's not just hanging out and loose. So I'm going to do that. I'll grab the other wire and kind of just wrap it around. I don't know, is there a technical name for these? I don't know. And I might make a note. I am no professional. I'm just a fan of SONDORS. I was introduced to it by another friend. He let us ride one of his bikes and we're pretty much sold. I was always against electric bikes because I thought it was cheating, but the reason I got mine is to ride it to work. It is like a 5.1 mile ride, I believe, there and another 5 back, but in the middle of summer in Oklahoma it gets really hot. I didn't want to get to work all sweaty and then stink the rest of the day. So this helps a little bit, not sweat so much. I do get a little bit of a burn, and I try to use only the number 2 pedal assist on mine and like 5 uphill, but it gets the job done. I really enjoy it. Anyway, so the next step on their video is to put the battery in. It hasn't fully charged because as soon as I took it out of the box, I plugged it in. What I like about it, it also has a little bike indicator or battery indicator, but it's not coming on. I hope it has at least a little bit of charge to kind of test it out, make sure it works. So I flipped the bike around. So all you have to do, oh, I know why it wasn't indicating. There's an on and off switch, which I like, so it doesn't run the battery. So here's I don't know if you can see it. So it does have, it has 4 little indicators and 3 of them are filled up. So that means it does have a good amount of battery to kind of test it out. So anyways, there's an on and off switch. I'm going to turn it off to install it first. So it's really easy. There's this little plug right here where the battery goes. And there's a notch on it to line it up. So you line it up and then just screw it on. Screw on this little cap thing. You can turn it on now and turn it on in a little bit, and I'll show you where you can do that. I'm going to leave it off. So now we've got it hooked on nice and tight, and all you do is put it in there and sorry, it just fits in there and locks in place. And the reason you get the keys, is that's how you take the battery off. So you kind of just use your key, flip it, and it'll kind of unlock right there, and then put it back. You just push it back in. I'm going to plug this charging hole right there, and then you just close it up. Tighten that a little bit. Try not to break that. It seems a little fragile, but I haven't broken mine yet, so we'll see. So you have these little plugs right here, and they're pretty easy to take off. They'll loosen up as you use them, as I realized. So don't lose these, but comes right off. And right here you have the charging port. So you just unplug it and then plug in your charging cable. I normally take my battery off only because I like to charge it inside. So I have my charger inside instead of out in the garage where I leave my bike. I have cameras. So it has another similar little hole over here on the side where you can turn the battery on. Some people kind of forget, like they'll try to start it and forget that they actually turn the battery off. So don't forget that. So you turn it on, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to take video with my phone. Now that the battery's on, I'm just going to hit the I button right here, and that turns on the LCD screen. And that pretty much means you're ready to rock. Your bike is at 0 miles. And that's it. The next thing on their video was to put all the reflectors on. And I mean, that's pretty easy stuff. If you don't know how to do that, you probably shouldn't be putting this together. It is pretty easy. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I like bikes a lot. So this was actually kind of fun for me, except for all of the Allen screws. Anyway, so now that it's all built, you're gonna have to air it up. It is gonna need some air, and it just has the regular valve on there. And then kind of adjust everything. Once you, this is not for me, it's for, like I said, my partner. So once they get on, just kind of adjust the seat as needed. And like I said, it's easy with the quick release. You can adjust the handles right here, the grips. I noticed that they are a little bit low. I like mine just a little bit higher. And it has, of course, an Allen screw right there. So all you do is undo those, adjust it, and then tighten them back up. Pretty much with everything, it has Allen screws that can be adjusted up or down just once you get riding and get comfortable with it. So that's it. Like I said, this is the SONDORS 7 with the suspension fork. The reason we decided to get the thins instead of the fat tire ones is I personally don't like the attention the other ones get, and these seem more like a normal bike. Hopefully also people try to stay away from it and not steal it as much because it's not that different. But these are fun. I've ridden mine about 70 miles already. I've only used it to work and home, and it's a smooth ride. Well, we do live in Oklahoma and we have some of the worst roads, so it's not that smooth because of that, but the suspension fork helps a little bit. What else can I say about it? On mine, I got some other accessories for it. I got the, that's not where you put the water, I was just doing it for now, but I got, let's see, I'll put this in view. I got a back rack over here, and I actually might look into getting a front one so I can carry some more stuff, maybe a book bag or something. So I did replace the seat as well because it's a little more comfortable for longer rides. And oh, so yeah, I was talking about this. The reason I don't want to get a bag for this yet is because my leg only goes up so far. Maybe I need to start doing some yoga, but if I put a basket on here, my leg kind of hits it and it's hard to get on. So I might look into a front rack. I also added this really cool phone holder. I totally recommend it. Today while I was riding, it got loose right here, which that's just because of all the bumps that I go through. I hadn't done that since I got it, but it fell this way, but my phone stayed intact. It didn't fall. So this tightens it up pretty much. And I just got it off of Amazon. I also have a light for it. I had this horn from previous bikes, so I kind of use that. I might look into getting the bell kind, just so people can hear me better, because there's people that kind of get in your way. That's about all I've done so far. I don't plan on really doing anything else. It's heavy enough as it is. But like I said, this isn't sponsored in any way. I just really like the SONDORS bike, and I totally recommend it if you're looking into electric bikes. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you next time.